Welcome. In this playthrough of Marvel Champions, the card game, we continue on with the Galaxy's Most Wanted. Scenario 3, Escape the Museum against the Collector. So previously, things didn't go as planned. The good, you broke into the Collector's museum, you beat the Collector, you know the Power Stone was here. The bad, an alarm went off as soon as you arrived, alerting the Collector to your presence. After you beat the Collector, he used his Elder God magic to trap you in his collection. Also, someone else seems to have stolen his Power Stone. Kind of a mixed bag here. On the bright side, whoever took the Power Stone cut the museum's power as a distraction, giving you enough time to get out of captivity. Maybe, just maybe, you can leverage this luck and escape the museum before the Collector realizes what's going on. So for our villain deck, Collector A1, main scheme, shown we've got 3 schemes, and counter decks, Escape the Museum, Galactic Artifacts, Menagerie Medley, Ship Command, and the standard sets. And something new here, infinite hit points. That doesn't sound good at all. So in this scenario, the villain has infinite hit points. Character with infinite hit points cannot be defeated by taking damage. However, damage may still be dealt to that character through attacks and card abilities. So our campaign instructions, we're going to reveal there's no escape. Each player must search their deck, discard pile, and hand for each of their cards recorded in the cards in the collection section of the campaign, then remove those cards from the game. Interesting. So that makes Expert a lot more difficult because when you do Expert, which I'm not, we're just doing standard play, you're stuck with that same deck the whole time. So with that, we had the Hulk in the collection. We're also going to shuffle the Badoon Hunter in. And then if the number of marks in the Headhunter defeated section of the campaign log is equal to or greater than 1, which it was, we're going to add on the hunt, and 2 was also that dead to rights. So what all that means is we have the Collector, scheme of 1, attack of 1, gets plus X scheme and plus X attack, where X is equal to the main scheme's current stage number. Forced interrupt, when he would be defeated, remove 3 threat per player from the main scheme and flip this card instead. Starts with 8 health per person. So when he flips, scheme of 0, attack of 0, Collector cannot be defeated. Forced interrupt, when the round ends, flip this card, then set Collector's hit point dial to his printed hit points. So no way to beat him. So then we go to our side scheme. So this tells us our contents. For setup, put the library labyrinth environment into play, and that is this way as a hero action. Deal yourself a face down counter card to remove 5 threat from the main scheme. Sounds good. Then set aside the Ship Command modular encounter set. So in the setup, told us to grab it, and now we're going to take it and set it aside. So we will not be starting with the Milano, which is disappointing. Then on the other side, got a threshold of 11 per player. You've been trapped inside the Collector's Museum. Before you can escape, you must first find the Milano. All right, so eventually we're going to find it. Force interrupt. When the last threat is removed from this scheme, advance to stage 2. So it's starting with 7 per player. So we're starting with 14 out of 22. So we can lose the game by going out of scheme. We can't win by beating him. So it looks like we need to, if there's no threat here, the players win the game. We need to take all the threat off of this. So that is possibly going to change my justice build a little bit. So if this stage is completed, the players lose the game. But we're trying to get it off to go to the next one. Remove all the threat from that one to go to this one to win the game. All right, so there is no escape. Starts with hinder, 3 per player, plus 4 more. So 10 threat on this. When defeated, deal 1 damage to each player. And then since we've beat the Badoon Headhunter twice, he's coming back in along with On the Hunt and Dead to Rights. And for our hero deck construction, Groot with Justice, Rocket with Aggression, or maybe thinking about doing this. And I'll explain why with the power aggression here in a little bit. Well, we'll just start with Groot. So Groot, 4-1, attack of 2, defense of 3. Force interrupt. When he would take any amount of damage, remove that many growth counters from him. For each growth counter removed this way, prevent one of that damage. Hand size of 5, 10 health. Recovery of 4. Growth Spurt as an action, place 2 growth counters on Groot to a maximum of 10. Hand size of 6 on this side. So Power of Aggression. Got 2 of those cards. I know this scenario is all about thwarting, so Into the Fray. Got some minions, so Relentless Assault, and it's Raccoon, why not? Then allies, She-Hulk, Valkyrie, Thor, Bug, Spider-Girl, Tigra, Brawn, and Lion Weight. And reason why I am switching aggression to Groot is these 2. I don't think they work good with Rocket, but I really like putting them in there. So with him, thwart of 1, attack of 1 with 2 health. After your hero makes a basic attack, heal 1 damage from Bug. I tend to always be thwarting with him, so that never really worked. And attacking with Groot, so that makes sense. And then Tigra, she just contradicts his ability, because I want her to finish off minions so she can heal, but I also want him to finish off minions with some extra to draw a card. So that's my thought process behind that. We'll see if that works. Then the basic cards, we've got our 3 main resources. Helicarrier, Deft Focus, works great with Groot. Exhaust that to reduce the resource cost of his next superpower. A lot of his events are superpowers. Even some of his upgrades. Flora and Fauna, Rocket and Groot. 2 downtimes. Lockjaw, just to have that extra person in there if I need to go digging for something to defend with. And he's good for thwarting or attacking, whatever I need to do. Then, of course, his 3 cards he's purchased previously, Armor Plating, In Defiance, and Brainstorm. So for Rocket Raccoon, thwart of 2, attack of 1 with 1 defense. Murdered You is his ability. As a response, after you deal excess damage to an enemy, draw a card. Hand size of 5, 9 health. Alter Ego, recovery of 3. Tinkering as an action. Choose and discard a tech upgrade you control to draw 2 cards. Hand size of 6 on this side. Then pretty much all the heavy thwart cards I can think of are in here. The Power of Justice, Heroic Intuition, 3 Clear the Areas, 3 for Justice, 3 Crisis Averted, Sense of Justice, then Allies, Agent Coulson, and I've got some preparation cards for him coming up. Jessica Jones, Daredevil, Quake, Spider-Man, Wiccan, Speed, and then 2 Spycrafts. And basic cards are 3 resources. Helicarrier, Nick Fury, Mockingbird, because I want some stun in this game. Flora and Fauna, 2 Endurance, and his 2 cards he's purchased, a Heavy Cannon, and Take the Fight to them. All right, here we go. Ready against the Collector. Finish shuffling up our encounter stack. Then for Rocket, 6 cards. See what kind of goodies we can find for him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Schadenfreude, Nick Fury, Crisis Averted, a battery pack, Flora and Fauna, and Endurance. Right off the bat, I'm leaning towards those. Even though Crisis Averted gets rid of 6 threat right away. It's pretty good. So we'll pitch those 2. Helicarrier for Justice. All right, that changes a lot of things. For Groot, also getting 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Relentless Assault. No good with no minions. Helicarrier. I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot. All right. So drawing 4 more. Lockjaw, Thor, Fruition, and Tigra. Can't believe I'm doing this. Pitching all those for Nick Fury to draw 3 cards. Then I'm pitching those to bring in a Helicarrier. Thwart for 2, thwart for 2. Do the ability, deal yourself a face down encounter card to remove 5 threat. Then Groot is going to get 2 counters. Use a helicarrier to make this one cheaper to bring in another helicarrier. Then use that to bring in Tigra. After she attacks and defeats a minion, heal a damage from her. Thwart a 1, attack of 2 or 3 health. Do we go to the next stage or wait? Flipping over. We are going to attack for 2 and attack for 2 more. Down to 12. And I think I want one more turn of setting up before we start making things nastier on us. So 5 cards: Daredevil, Skeleton, Salvage, Quake, and Mockingbird. I'm liking that. Valkyrie, I Am Groot, Root Stomp, Relentless Assault, and Brainstorm. 2 threat. Attacking, Nick Fury defends for 1, 2, doing damage to each character you control. Fortunately, he's still around. Takes the hit. Then attacking over here, Groot will defend for 1, 2, 3, 4. So we block 3 and take 1. Counter cards. Impossible Geometry. Insight 1. So we're adding a threat. When revealed, you're confused. If you're already confused, choose and discard 1 card you control. I Am Groot. So we become confused in a game where that is terrible, which makes sense why they put that in there. And then, oh man, Shadows of the Past. Blackjack O'Hare, scheme of 1, attack of 1, 3 health, quick strike. When he activates, give him a boost card. He's a happy little rabbit. So he's attacking for 1, 2 damage, down to 6. Then Vendetta. So I played a couple games of this with Jesse over at Quackalope. You might know he likes some ducks. So I know you hate that word, but hey, if it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, and walks like a duck, it's a raccoon. So that gives us our new symbol, which adds to both boost icons and comes in with 4 threat. And we get 3 other cards shuffled in here. That's not a good start. And then Sign a Ghost. You are confused. Awesome. Scheme of 2, attack of 2 of 4 health. Pass first player. All right, that was not a good turn. So we are going to brainstorm. It's a thwart. Whenever we thwart or scheme, we do get rid of that instead. All right, over on this side, let's see here. All right, we are going to use a helicarrier to make our next card 1 cheaper to bring in Valkyrie. So using that ability, after she enters play, deal 2 damage to a minion, 3 if we paid using a energy resource. So Blackjack is gone. Then attack for 2. Then attack for 2. Since she defeated, she'll heal, then takes her damage. Rocket's gonna thwart for 2, or to get rid of confused. Make her next card 1 cheaper to bring in Mockingbird. Thwart a 1, attack of 1 after she enters play, stun an enemy. Then thwarting for 1. Bring in our skeleton, giving us +3 hit points and +1 attack. And we can, once we spin that card, put a tech upgrade from your discard pile on top of your deck. So 9 health. Find a tech upgrade. Battery pack. Yep. We're going to remove 5 threat and end our turn. We will keep Root Stomp. 4 more cards. Another Root Stomp, some spikes, a downtime, and Deft Focus. Need to remember Lockjaw's still in there. Then 5 cards over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Crisis Averted, Cannon, Jones, Clear the Area, and a Battery Pack. 2 threat. Attacking, lose stunned. Attacking, Groot is going to defend for 1, 2, 3. 3. All right, we're good. Counter cards. Got an egg here with an acceleration token. When defeated, the player defeated this scheme may ready their identity. So 7 threats coming on that. And attach your identity. Your turn begins, place a poison counter here. Then take 1 damage for each poison counter here. So hero action, spend 3 resources of different types to discard this. Any player can do it. And the Badoon Headhunter. We've seen 2 of those guys so far. Scheme of 1, attack of 1, 7 health, 2 victory, and villainous. So passing poison down to 8. Funny thing is, 2 resources. 2 different resources. He's going to stay poisoned for a little bit. All right, we are going to thwart for 1. Clear the area, remove 2 threat from a scheme. If this removes the last threat on that scheme, draw a card. Get rid of Vendetta. Draw into a pistol. Rocket. We played around long enough on this side scheme, or main scheme, so removing 5 threat. When the last threat's removed, we go to 2A. So lost in the museum. The Milano is being held in a massive container. You try to pry it open. Try to pry open the side, but ultimately resolve to smashing the glass as hard as you can. When revealed, put the set-aside Milano support from the ship command encounter set into play under the first player's control. So the Milano is in. We can use this as a resource, exhaust it to generate a wild resource for any player. Then lost in the museum, threshold of 30 for us. Now that you've broken the Milano out of its cage, use it to find the front door. The last threat's removed from this one and go to stage 3A. If we get up to 30, we lose. Comes in with 22. So there's 2. And 20. I'm going to use a helicarrier to bring in Jessica Jones. She gets +1 thwart for each side scheme in play. So she's thwarting for 3. We are going to thwart for 2. Over here, yeah, we're done with that. Bring in Deft Focus. Hero action, exhaust this, reduce the resource cost for the next superpower card you play this turn by 1. So we'll do that with the Helicarrier. Root Stomp, deal 5 damage to an enemy. If this attack defeats an enemy, we'll get a growth counter. Yeah, we're not going to do that. So 5 damage on him. Tigra attacks for 2 to defeat him. He goes to our victory display, which will be back there. We heal and take a damage. Then he'll take the action to remove 5 threat. And I feel like at some point we're going to have to recover. And he's a bit more fragile. So we're going to give him a downtime. Gives him +2 recovery. I'm going to keep Crisis Averted for Rocket and Root Stomp for Groot. Oh, yes, I guess before we do that, we can attack for 2, take him down to 10. Ending your turn. Flora and Fauna, Energy, Into the Fray, and Entangled Vines. Take the fight to them. Agent Coulson, Rocket's Pistol, and Crisis Averted. 3 threat because of that. Attacking over here, so he's got a base 3 now. Mockingbird's going to defend. Ghost comes into play and confuses us. I hate that card. Then he attacks for 2. Attacking over on this side. We're going to defend. 1, 2, 3. 3 damage and we're good. Counter cards. Cloak of Hercules. Attached to the enemy with the highest attack. So he's an attack of 3, attack of 2. Gives him +3 attack, spend 3 physical resources to discard that card. We are confused. If we're already confused, take a damage. It's like I knew that stuff was going to happen. Impossible Geometry, Insight 1. You are confused. All right. And then we are confused. If you're already confused, take a damage. Which will come off of there and pass first player. So Groot is going to spend, oh, geez, yes, 1 of each resource. Feel like we have to get rid of that. His turn hadn't begun yet. Then we're going to Root Stop, dealing 5 damage to an enemy. Kill this thing off, which is going to get us a counter. Tiger is going to attack for 2. Use an action to remove 5 threat. No, we could play that way better. No, we couldn't. I forgot. Pitch those 3 for something else. All right, Rocket's taking a fight to him. Look the top 4 cards in counter deck, discard any number of those, and place the rest on top or bottom of the encounter deck in any order, then draw a card. So 2, 3, 4. Caught off guard. We don't want that showing up. Definitely don't want that showing up. And we don't want that showing up. Is there something I'm willing to lose over here? No. All right, we're pitching all 4 of them. And draw a card. Heroic Intuition. Make your next card 1 cheaper. To bring in a pistol. Comes in with 3 counters on it. Exhaust it to remove a counter or deal 2 damage to an enemy. It's going to get rid of a ghost. Then attacking for 2. Attacking for 2 to get rid of the other ghost. All right. Next card, 1 cheaper. Bringing in Agent Coulson with the Milano. Dehinder's play, search our deck and discard pile for a preparation card and add it to your hand and shuffle our deck. Pitched a Spycraft yet? Nope. So play only if we control a spy character. When you reveal an encounter card, discard Spycraft to cancel the effects of that card and discard it. Then reveal another card from the encounter deck. So we are going to bring that into play. Coulson will thwart for 2. Do the ability. And I think we're going to flip over. All right, that's going to end our turn. We're going to keep Crisis Averted. 5 more cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Heavy Cannon, a Rocket Launcher, Genius, Power of Justice, and a Reload. A Root Stomp, Armor Plating, Spider-Girl, She-Hulk, and Brawn. 3 threats. Attacking. Defending. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to take 2 damage. 1 off there, and we're down to 9. Then scheming for 1, 2, 3, 4. Give the villain an additional boost card. 5. And counter cards. Have you now? Hero form. You're stunned and the collector attacks you. Valkyrie jumps in front of that one. And someone gets tough. Attach to the enemy with the lowest scheme. Gets us extra encounter cards. We can spend 3 energy to discard that. Philosopher's Stone. Hinder 2. The player defeats this scheme may draw 2 cards. That's not good. So 7. And Surge. When revealed, choose to either take 2 damage or discard a card from random from your hand. When you reveal an encounter card, discard it, cancel the effects of that card, and discard it. So we're going to go ahead and just cancel the effects. And the villain schemes. That's probably worse. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 16. And we're both confused. Well, we're going to heal for 5, going up to 10. That's got to be done. Use our ability to draw 2 cards. Spycraft, and he's got a plan. That doesn't help. I'm going to use a Milano as a wild resource along with those to make them all energy to get rid of the wand. Bringing that to deal damage to the enemy if you control. Deal 1 additional damage, so that's 2 damage at once to get rid of toughness. Thwarting for 2. Next card, 1 cheaper for another Spycraft. Bring in a rocket launcher. Exhaust it. Well, it comes in with 2 charge counters. We can remove 1 to choose a player and deal 2 damage to the villain and each minion engaged with that player. Flip over. And that's it. Got to keep this in check. So we'll do that. And that. Armor plating. When an identity would take any amount of damage, exhaust it to prevent 1 of that damage. We'll bring that in. Make our next card 1 cheaper. Next superpower 1 cheaper. Root Stomp. Deal 5 damage to an enemy. Down to 5 health. Then Spider Girl. Thwart 1, attack for 2, stun and confuse a minion. We don't have any. She's going to attack for 2, down to 3. Then attack for 2. Let's see. No, she'll just thwart for 1. Ending her turn. So next round, I feel like we have to take care of that. Keeping Crisis. 1, 2, 3, 4. Clear the area, Sense of Justice, Salvage, and some Thruster Boots. Then 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Power of Aggression, Strength, Genius, Relentless Assault, and a Bug. 3 threats. Attacking here. We are going to take it. Why? I don't know. Because I'm confused. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4 damage. Yeah, we'll live. 4 damage coming through, down to 6. Over here, we're at 9 health. We're going to take it. For 1, 2, 3. We'll prevent 1. So down to 7. Counter cards. Attach your identity. We're -1 thwart, attack and defense. We can take a damage, spend 2 mental resources to discard this. Any player can do that. Groot might be that any player later. Then we get a magical teapot. Hinder 2 per player. If we defeat that scheme, we may heal 4 damage. It's coming out with 7. Yep, that's almost on screen, isn't it? Move it a little bit over. Work on these. Got a Servant Bot, Guard and Patrol, Scheme of 1, Attack of 1 with 3 health. And Blackjack's Bazooka. Attach to Blackjack. If you cannot attach to the villain, hero action, spend 3 mental to discard it, +2 attack. Just what the collector needs. A big bazooka. Pass turn. All right, Groot, taking a damage. He's a genius, spending 2 mentals to get rid of an obedience potion. We are stunned and confused. So we're going to attack to get rid of stunned. Then we're going to do a Relentless Assault, dealing 5 damage to a minion. Paid for this using physical, gets overkill. Soaks up 3, 2 goes through, someone's down to 1 health. Then we're going to bring in a Bug. After your hero makes a basic attack, heal 1 damage from Bug. Bug is going to thwart for 1. Take an action to remove 5 threat. Okay. The Great Escape. You found the exit. Milano bursts into space and readies its thrusters. You see the museum's shipped cannons beginning to charge. When revealed, flip Library Labyrinth, place an acceleration token on the main scheme, shuffle the remaining cards from the set aside ship command encounter set into the encounter deck. So hold on to your butts. Forced interrupt. When the villain phase begins, choose to exhaust Milano, assign 2 indirect damage per player among players. So exhaust Milano and take 4 indirect damage, or just take 6 indirect damage among the players. And an acceleration token. And command. We're adding to our 2 cards. So get these shuffled up nice and good. And that's all done. So we've got a threshold of 24, almost clear. I'll run the museum shipped cannons to make your final escape. First player action, exhaust Milano to remove 3 threat from here. Comes in with 16. There's 10 and 6. First player will exhaust for 3. What can I do here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Can I get through this? Scheming for 1. And out. Scheming for 1. And out. So that's all we've got over there. Next card played over here is 1 cheaper. Clear the area, thwart, lose confused. Oh yeah, forgot about that. Deal a damage to each enemy. If you control the Milano, deal 2 damage. So we're taking him out. When he's defeated, remove 6 threats from the main scheme and flip this card. Cannot be defeated. When the round ends, flip it over. And crisis averted. Remove 6 threat from the main scheme. If you paid for this using a mental resource, we can ignore other things. So there's 5 on there. We're removing 6. I could play that to bring in the thruster, so we can thwart for another 3 if we needed to, thwart for another 2, and she thwarts for another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, yeah. Hopefully I didn't make any mistakes there. I'm sure I did. But with the amount of scheme I had removing, I think we would have been fine either way. All right, for victory. Record units in our unspent box, so 1 for each. Record a number of units for each player to a maximum of 3 for our victory values. We had 2 from that, so we're up to 3 now. For every 2 galactic artifact side schemes in the victory display, record 1 unit for each player. That's a big fat 0. Record the title of each galactic artifact side scheme in the victory display. We didn't get any of those. I wonder if that's going to be bad for us. The Badoon Headhunter's in the victory display. Mark the other box, and he is. So another Headhunter has been defeated. So 1, 2, 3 units each. So I'm actually not going to buy anything. Hopefully with the next one, I'll get enough victory points to go after some of these big cost items. So I feel like we're going to need that for the final battle. So reading my nasty chicken scratch, Rocket has 3 units, Groot has 4, and we've defeated another Headhunter. So then into our story. Finish that up. Deeper space on Nebula ship. Set course for nowhere. Our buyer is expecting us. After you sell the stone, we'll have enough credits to kaboom. We're being shot at. Surprise, Flark Nards. All right, so next, Scenario 4 versus Nebula. As always, hope you enjoyed this playthrough. So please click on the like button below and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.